the Ed Sheeran Thinking Out Loud case. A suit was brought against him for Let's Get It On, the very famous Marvin Gaye song. And the lower court dismissed the case, saying that Welcome. I'm Alan Jacoby. I've been an entertainment attorney for more than 40 years. Today, we're going to talk about the Ed Sheeran Thinking Out Loud case. A suit was brought against him for Let's Get It On, the very famous Marvin Gaye song. And the lower court dismissed the case, saying that these were ordinary changes, both chords and notes, that had been used 29 times before the Marvin Gaye song and 23 times between the Marvin Gaye song and the Ed Sheeran song. So it was very commonly used progressions that the court ruled could not be copyrighted. So what happened is, in the Ed Sheeran case, the court took it away, dismissed it before it ever got in front of a jury. In the Robin Thicke and Pharrell lawsuit regarding Blurred Lines, another Marvin Gaye song was suing them. It went to the jury. And the problem is that the jury really doesn't know what copyright is all about. And so the fact that it felt like the Marvin Gaye song, even though it did not, in my opinion, infringe upon it, it was close enough that a jury could say, well, they kind of sound alike. And of course, that was a millions of dollars lawsuit that Pharrell and Robin Thicke lost to the Gaye family. Most people aren't really that aware of what a copyright is. Under the copyright law, it's words and music. And when they say music, they mean the melody. In rap music, it became something else because there may not be a melody at all. No melody at all. So what happens is the rapper contributed lyrics and the producer contributed the beat. And so the rapper wasn't making a claim for the beat because he didn't create it. So the producer did. So that's another way of understanding how copyright works. Okay, let's look at what constitutes copyright infringement. There's the substantial similarity test. The similarity test is a legal standard used by copyright courts to determine whether one work infringes upon another. Essentially, it assesses whether an ordinary person would recognize substantial similarities between the two works, which can be either musical compositions or other forms of creativity. There's objective and subjective elements in a copyright case. Objective looks at specific elements of the work, such as melody, harmony, lyrics, and structure. Subjective considers how these elements might be perceived by an average listener. This gives us to a two-part analysis. Extrinsic test examines the factual similarities between the two works. Often, though, expert testimony and comparison of musical components gives you the result. The intrinsic test focuses on the impression the works leave on a typical audience member, assessing whether they feel the works are substantially similar. In the Robin Thicke and Pharrell case, with the Marvin Gaye song, the jury didn't understand the facts about the concept of the notes, concept of the similarities in the melodies, because they didn't exist. The songs felt similar in their vibe, but that's not infringement. And so this court, the Sheeran court, dismissed the case because of the similarities. Let's talk about access. In order to win an infringement case, in order to prevail, you have to prove that the infringer had access to your song. So when we encounter someone that wrote a song, kept it on a shelf, hears a song on the radio and goes, oh my God, that's my song. Well, if he never gave it to anybody, or it wasn't a hit, it didn't get on the radio, or it didn't have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of streams on the internet, you're not going to be able to prove access. There is a case I remember that a songwriter gave a CD to an artist in hopes of, getting some placements. And in fact, that artist stole one of his songs. Fortunately, he had witnesses handing it over, and he had provable dates on the recording of his song. So that access was actual access. The access of a hit being on the radio is that so many people heard it that you can assume access. There are potential ramifications for publishers or copyright owners to realize how similar the work needs to be in order to prevail. So, how entertainment attorneys navigate copyright issues for artists, as the copyright holder attorney navigates the material to an expert witness, which is crucial in winning an infringement case. That guidance then allows you to have a team, attorney, musical expert, and shows how the infringing song infringes. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed our discussion about Ed Sheeran's copyright case and the intricacies of music law, we'd love to hear from you. Subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode, and we have plenty of exciting topics lined up for that deep dive into the world of music law, artist rights, and industry insights.